Welcome to AKA Our 80s Life.
Y'all, today we are in Dallas, Texas to show you all of the filming locations for the Dallas Miniseries Season 1.
And this is where it all began.
For Season 1, Episode 1 takes place at this gas station right here in Prosper, Texas.
Bobby and Pamela have just gotten married. They're on their way to Southfork Ranch. They pull in here. Pamela is really nervous about meeting the family.
Bobby tells her she has nothing to worry about. He also tells her the daddy has taught him the 3 B's. What are the 3 B's?
Well, according to Jock, there are booze, brides, and booty.
Oh my goodness. I think Pam has her hands full as the newest member of the Ewing family. After they get gas and a bite to eat, they hit the road on their way to Southfork. But now we're gonna go and show you the original Southfork.
Behind us is the entry gate to Brinkmann Ranch. Right here is where the arch would have been that would have said Southfork.
Brinkmann Ranch used to be Cloisbox Ranch, and this was Southfork in Season 1 of Dallas. Season 1 was actually a mini-series. It was only supposed to be 5 episodes. They filmed here, and then the Box family decided they didn't really want to have a TV show filming here anymore. So after the mini-series was completed, they had to find a new place to film. So they moved the filming over to what you now know as the Southfork Ranch. We have a separate video. We did a whole tour of the Southfork Ranch. We will link it below.
The opening scenes of Dallas were in February of 1978, and it was super cold here. There was snow on the ground.
That's unusual, because they don't get a lot of snow around here, but you'll see these early scenes out at this ranch. There's a lot of snow around.
So unfortunately the house did burn, and then they partially started to rebuild it in 1987, but they never finished.
Yeah, unfortunately, Mr. Box passed away, and now it's owned by the Brinkmanns, and they never completed the house, so it's just sitting unfinished right now. But we are going to fly our drone over and see what we can see of the house and ranch.
Now they did only film exterior scenes here. Interior scenes of inside the house were filmed at a different location.
Interiors for the Dallas miniseries were filmed in the historic Aldredge House on Swiss Avenue in Dallas.
The first ever cast photo was taken here in the living room.
We can see the grand staircase in mini scenes from the first 4 episodes.
The Aldredge House offers tours, and we hope to visit there when they reopen. Right behind us is Bryan Tower, and this was the location of Ewing Oil during season 1.
Yeah, for season 2 through 10, they used Renaissance Tower. If you want to see some of the filming locations for seasons 2 onwards, we have a playlist. We will link that below, and you can watch our other videos.
Ewing Oil's view out the window in Bryan Tower would have been on this side. I believe this building is new because in the picture you see the black building here, and then you see that brown building with that little tower on top. So it was obvious that they actually used Bryan Tower to film in the first season for the Ewing's office location. So we tried to come up in the building to see if we could get the same view that Bobby had, and this is about as good as we got.
All right, so there's Bobby's office, and this is an empty space now, so we're not sure if this is the exact spot, but it's pretty dang close. So we're gonna call it good. This is the Night Train Bar, where Pamela and Cliff go looking at local bars for their dad, Digger, to tell him that she's gotten married to Bobby Ewing, which of course, he's not very happy. It's no longer a bar, now it's Cindy's New York Deli.
Back at Brinkmann Ranch, that scheming JR cooks up a plan to try and break up Pamela and Bobby.
Here's the nearby pond where Pam gets tossed into the frigid water by Ray Krebs in episode 1.
We're in Farmers Branch at Chapel Hill Prep School.
This is where Lucy goes to high school. When she goes. She's usually truant, and she causes all kinds of problems when she does actually go. But this is the school they used. It was actually an elementary school back then, and they closed it during filming, so they were able to use the outside here, and also they filmed a lot inside as well. Behind us is Cliff Barnes' apartment.
Someone's a little excited.
I am, I like Cliff. And there's several scenes that happen here. Now they only used this location for season 1. After that, he moves to a different apartment. There's a few scenes that happen here in episode 3. So for one, Julie goes on a date with Cliff. After the date, they walk down the sidewalk. You can see the street lights behind them. It looks exactly the same as it still does today.
Except the trees are a lot bigger.
Oh yeah, the trees are huge.
These trees are much bigger.
They are. So then they walk down and they go into his apartment through the little gate, which is still there, and she spends the night.
Ooh, scandalous.
Oh, and they also have a conversation about Wild Bill Orloff because Cliff is trying to convince Julie that he's no good and he's taken a bribe from the Ewings. And what does he say about him?
He's a crook.
He's a crook. The next day, she's coming out. Pam pulls up in the red Mercedes right there.
And then they walk down this way.
And they stop and have a heated conversation in front of this place right here, this next neighbor over here. So this is a really cute little neighborhood. Keith always, whenever we talk about Cliff, he always says,
Cliff Bonds.
Cliff Bonds. That's how JR says it.
Sue Ellen kind of says it that way too.
That dang Cliff Bonds.
Mr. Bryan, let's get to it.
In episode 2, the Ewings go out to a disco for a night on the town. That place was actually Scotland Yard. We had a tough time digging this one up, but we figured it out thanks to our friends on Facebook who helped us identify this location. Now it is a thrift store, thrift giant.
Yeah, after it was the disco, it then turned into Baby Doll's Gentleman Club, then it turned into the thrift store.
Scandalous. Let's go shopping.
Yes.
Let's go inside.
See the finds we can get.
And do some disco.
Yes.
Thanksgiving Park, and this is where in episode 3 Bobby has to give the bad news to Wild Bill Orloff that the document has leaked and everybody's gonna find out that he took bribes from Ewing Oil. Uh-oh.
Now demolished, this was the location of the Hot Biscuit Cafe from season 1, episode 6. Lucy's estranged mom, Valine, worked here. We were able to confirm this location by the building next door, which is now the El Humidor, but back in the day it was the Texas Pump, and you could tell by the unique entrance to the front of this building that we were at the right place.
Standing in front of the Carefree Inn, but in the show, this is actually called the Westerner Motel, and it's not in Dallas, it's in Waco. But really, we're in Oak Cliff, which is southern Dallas.
So this is the hotel where JR and Ray Krabs come to Waco on a business trip to hook up with a couple sweet ladies.
Yeah, except it turns out that the ladies are already taken, and their men are out for vengeance. So the title of this episode is Winds of Vengeance. They find JR's business card on the floor of the motel, and they decide they're gonna go and get even.
So the guys traveled to Southfork, where they hold hostage the Ewing family. They want to get even with JR. Let's go in and take a closer look to where this hotel room was.
Yeah, because we know the room number.
So right behind us are the actual rooms they used. They used 107 and 108, which were connecting rooms, and 107 was JR's room, and that's the room they exited out of when they left the hotel.
Babe, what did they say when they're leaving?
JR says, "Goodbye, Waco. Nice town full of pretty ladies."
Goodbye, Waco.